Zenless Zone Zero is HoYoverse's newest video game, a combat-focused, action-paced gacha game. We're gonna talk about my first impression of the game and why this game just has so many issues. I think the expectations was quite high since HoYoverse has made great games in the past. Games like Genshin Impact, who just reinvented the whole gacha genre to be honest, making the Genshin-like genre a thing. An open-world gacha game, never really done before. And with Star Rail, a very beloved game, also making semi-open worlds a thing for turn-based gacha games. Both of the games have amazing story and pretty good gameplay. Now with ZZZ as the newest HoYoverse game products, I think the expectations were quite high. I want to start this video off by saying, I think nobody would have cared about this game if this game wouldn't have the Hoyo brand behind its back, literally pushing the advertisement for this game to the limit. Making amazing trailers for each of the characters, animations and cutscenes. They just look incredible. HoYoverse definitely knows how to market their own games. One other important thing I need to mention already is that this game is for casual gamers. It's definitely not for players that expect high skill combat. Most of the hardest battles that I've had were just pressing one button and I won. But how about we start at the beginning, at why I think this game is just simply meant for nobody. First of all, if you start the game, I think the introduction felt too long. In the first 3 hours of the game, you maybe have between 20 and 25 minutes of actual combat gameplay. The rest of this 3 hours is filled with a lot of yapping. While the characters may seem cool at the beginning, I just think for a combat game, there should definitely be more combat sessions. At the beginning, you meet a few characters. The voice acting is perfect, not gonna lie. The character design is just a masterpiece. HoYoverse just knows what they are doing with this. Aesthetics are incredible, world building looks insane. The game definitely has a vibe, as Zoomers like to call it. Also the music is super good. They even had a collab with Tiesto, and yes, there's a lot of banger electro songs. So all these things sound amazing. So why did I still not enjoy the game? Well, first of all, at one point you will reach these TV screens. Yes, the TV screens are still in the game. The one thing that every beta player was complaining about, that it simply is not fun. HoYoverse wanted to make these TV screens a central part of the gameplay loop. An integral part of the gameplay loop. Basically jump from TV screen to TV screen to do certain puzzles, to do certain things, to advance the story. While it is a nice idea on paper, I think the way they have done it is just simply not fun. It's simply just annoying and takes away gameplay time of the actual game. Some of the puzzles were also quite annoying. I do understand that they maybe cannot fill the whole game with just combat and gameplay sessions. I think they could have come up with something at least that's more fun to do than these annoying TV screens. It feels very clunky to play, even with the double speed option that you can already activate. It also just takes way too long. It literally just interrupts your gameplay flow. You wanna fight something, but no, you have to jump from TV screen to TV screen for literally like 10 minutes to solve annoying puzzles. I definitely heard that they reduced the amount of TV screens from the last betas. In my opinion, it's still too much. I think these TV screens are literally ruining the whole game. Most people will Alt F4. They will quit the game just because of this one thing. Also quite early on, you will get your first gameplay session with the combat. And after testing the characters out a bit, you find out that the animations look great and the sound effects are decent. Every character has actually a pretty complex kit if you read into it. Like for example, Ellen has the stack mechanic for her eyes on the top of the left here, where she can increase her damage, etc. She also has multiple combos that she could pull off. Sadly, the whole game is playable just by pressing one button and you just win. You know, they focus on these chain abilities too much. You can do these chain abilities that look very flashy, literally too flashy in my opinion, and you basically are stuck for multiple seconds in these animation screens. It's comparable to Genshin's ult or Star Rail ult. You're literally stuck sometimes between these animations for like 15 or 20 seconds. Then if you also add the ultimate animation, it's like 25 seconds without playing the game. While it looks cool to watch, it just lacks the depth and the actual gameplay that you do with your own hands. Spamming one button is enough to win. So why would I even read into the kits of the characters? It's a shame, because the characters actually seem pretty interesting to play with. But sadly it looks like they just wanted to make the game very easy for a wider audience, so they can make more money. Which is another great HoYoverse move. Because they know how to make money, they know how to speak to the widest audience as possible. So the combat is sadly just too simple. While I didn't get to reach the end game, most people will quit because of this factor already and don't reach the end game. It wouldn't be a reach if I say I could give this game to a dog and this dog could win every boss fight possible. So yeah, the combat is simply too easy and too casual. While it looks cool to watch, The actual gameplay is not there. No depth, no skill required. You're just getting bored if you look for something challenging. It's definitely for people that like to watch cool stuff explode, but just pressing one button. If you want to press one button all the time and win, this game is for you. It's literally just meant for casual players. A combat-focused game for casual players that don't need skill is quite questionable. I saw some people even saying that they prefer Genshin's gameplay over this. At least in Genshin you can focus on actually playing the character without getting interrupted too much. Also, it needs you to do more than 2 buttons, you need 3 buttons in Genshin. One other issue that I had is that there's no jump button. A fighting game without a jump button is quite questionable as well. I don't know why they've done this. I think jump buttons can give you another set of combos, but then again, why would you do any type of combos in the game if you just need to press one button to win? Also, these chain abilities just do way too much damage to miss out on them. So the meta is just switching characters, which people are already memeing about, that the whole game is about switching. You don't really need to play any character for a longer time. All you do is get these switch animations and just kill the enemies like that by spamming one button. Other than that, it's just a typical gacha game that you play for like maybe multiple minutes a day. You just deplete your stamina, get some gear, and then you already quit. There's not really something that you can do otherwise than that. There's also something like the simulated universe I've seen, but I don't think that's enough. Where in Wuthering Waves and Genshin, you at least can explore the open world, and no, Zenless Zone Zero doesn't have that. It's a city-based game where you cannot even explore. Even the city itself has invisible walls. While there is some chests here and there, well, I simply think it's just not enough. It also just doesn't do enough to make itself more interesting and different to other combat gacha games. We have games like Honkai Impact Third, PGR, Ether Gazer, and Wuthering Waves. Zenless Zone Zero just feels like something like that with a different skin, with more furry characters, small girl characters, and a certain urban looking style. Also, of course, with the great marketing of HoYoverse. It also feels a lot like Honkai Impact, which is literally their own game. I don't know why they made the decision to make another combat-based game when they already have one. I guess there's also mini-games in there like Snake, but who wants to play Snake all day? The game also has some positives, let's talk about these. I think the character designs are really good. All the characters look amazing, have certain personalities, and are quite likable. Atmosphere, aesthetic, and world building is on HoYoverse's level. They just know how it works, they know how to do it. Even the story seems interesting, even if there's just too much yapping in my opinion. Sometimes you have these characters just looking at you on the screen, standing still. I just think for a 2024 game that's literally not enough. Doesn't really keep my attention. It also has quite a unique way of storytelling with these comic panels that are voice acted. I quite like these since the voice acting is also really good. The animations for the combat are insane. It also is quite flashy, but then again you are like stuck in these screens for a long time and don't actually get to use these combat moves for yourself. The cutscenes and animations look very epic. Some of these scenes look like you're literally watching an anime. I wish there would be a bit more, but I still think they look insane. Let's also talk about the rewards. In my opinion, they are not enough. After Wuthering Waves that came out with over 108 pulls right off the bat when you start the game, you could literally do 60 or 70 pulls after re-rolling. That means you need to play the game for 20 minutes. The game gives you already 60 pulls, which 20 were limited banner pulls and 40 standard banner pulls. In Zenless Zone Zero, it took me 3 hours to get my pulls ready. While it still was like 50 pulls for the standard banner and 10 pulls for the limited banner, I still think that's definitely not enough. Could have proven with this game that they changed their mindset with being greedy. It is still more than Genshin Impact's 3 pulls. Apparently you can get 100 pulls just by continue playing. Yes, but you need to level like your account, which takes literally weeks. In Wuthering Waves, it just took me a few days to reach like 100 pulls. The music is also very insane in this game. I think there's some really good bops and bangers. But let's jump into the conclusion of my first impression. I think a quote from the Helldivers developers kind of fits here pretty good. A game made for everyone is a game for no one. While I still think that this game will have a lot of hype in some audiences and people will still play it, it is not a game for real gamers. It's a game for people that like to watch stuff explode on a screen while pressing just one button. The combat is simply too easy and for kids. The game will also probably make hundreds of millions of dollars, knowing how HoYoverse just knows how to make money. because they advertise their game properly. But then again, this game is not for people that actually watch this video or on YouTube in general. It's another game like Genshin Impact, where people play the game not for the actual gameplay, but for the characters and maybe story. Which is just sad, because ZZZ is meant to be a fighting game. It's for people that like games without depth. People that want to watch a show instead of playing the actual game. You can play the game for the vibe, story, music and characters. But definitely not for this casual, boring gameplay. Pressing left click is just not it. I think the whole package overall definitely makes ZZZ not a bad game. It's just a game. Sadly, it's not on par with other HoYoverse products, where they actually reinvented the wheel. It's just another combat gacha game with a different skin, with HoYoverse's insane marketing strats. They know how to make insane looking trailers, amazing character designs, and all the other stuff that makes TikTok audiences go say, OMG Queen. That's the audience they want and also get. They will make a bunch of money with this game, but hey, making a lot of money as a developer doesn't mean it is a good game. Zenless Zone Zero is not a game for gamers. It's a casual game for people that like Candy Crush. With this, I'ma end this video here. I would also like to know your opinion about the game so far. Why did you quit the game? Why do you enjoy the game? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate it a thumbs up. Also subscribe to my channel for more gacha game content. I appreciate you guys for watching this far, and I see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Only one world, one love, but the battle goes on, shadows of mass destruction. Ooh, yeah. Do 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 do. Baby, baby. Do 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 do. Ooh, yes. Do 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 do. Baby, baby. Do 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 do.